but it did actually have a couple of episodes that were pulled, and one of them, I do recall. The episode in question was Earshot. It was season 3, episode 18.
Speaking of movies, the reason why I wasn't around last night and Mr. Steve was playing the back rooms without me, what a shame. Can't believe I missed out on that. I'm devastated, as you can no doubt hear. Was because my husband surprised me with an impromptu trip to the cinema.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the To Be Decided podcast. And you know how hard it is to break from the old podcast. I almost said it again, and even though it's been a couple of weeks now, it's a old habit to break, and I've done almost 100 of those episodes. But yeah, hello everyone. Welcome into the To Be Decided podcast, and with me, as always, is Mrs. Bingley. Kate. Hello, Kate. How are you?
I am still groggy.
You're still groggy?
I was saying to Mr. Steve before we went live. This is more a question for chat, because I know that you've just answered it, but I was lying in bed. It was about 7 o'clock, and I started feeling sleepy, and I was like, I've got an hour before we really need to start the podcast. I could have a nap. But I could feel my eyes getting heavy, so I did the sensible thing for once in my life, and I set an alarm for 8 o'clock. And when I tell you, I must have immediately fallen into the deepest, heaviest sleep I've had in a while, because I was mid very vivid dream when my alarm went off, and I just about shat myself, thinking that I'd slept through to tomorrow morning and that I'd missed the podcast altogether. So, question for chat. Tell us about a time that you've done that, because I cannot be the only one.
Well, I know I'd already answered it, but just for the sake of check, yeah, I have done that, and it was back when I worked for Greg's. I was up it was a 3 a.m. Wake up, and yeah, I'd woke up in a panic. I made breakfast. I got myself ready. I was changed. I looked at my at the time. It said 11 o'clock. I shit myself thinking it was 11 in the morning. It weren't. It was 11 at night. I'd only had 3 hours sleep. So yeah, that was what I'd done. But yeah, if you've done that, let us know. If you haven't, do you know anyone?
Congratulations on having healthy sleeping habits.
Yes.
I bet you're so proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Show off.
Congratulations. Well done, you. Pat on the back. Right, gold star to the star pupil in this week's chat. Yeah. All right, not too bitter. I know someone has definitely not done that. I'm sure
everyone's got to have done it once.
There's someone has to have, right? They have to.
We're not the only people that nap during the day.
No, we're not.
Sometimes you just need to take yourself away and have an afternoon nap. Adults are just overgrown toddlers. Where's my sippy cup and juice pouch?
Do you know what? I was just saying, it's like an age thing. The only times you're going to do it is either when you're extremely young, like infant, or extremely old, like retired. So I don't know where we fit into that. I'm sure we don't, but
no, there's a secret third option, Steve, which people don't tell you, and that's just when you're extremely fucking tired.
Yes, yeah, there is. I was just moving on, but I was going to say something. I was going to say I got a little bit of a rant to do first of all. With Jeff Bezos's company. I'm getting very tired of the quick responses. And you know what? I get it, right? I know what it is. And I'm not trying to stick up for him too much, but I know what it is. It's pressured to deliver quickly, right? I get, you know what? Fine, I get it. Okay, I understand it. but there's no need to just ignore the customer that you're delivering to now. I've had it twice in quick succession as well. Like literally twice last week. I just answered yesterday. I had a delivery yesterday, and it was just dumped, and the guy walked off. Like if I had have not been home, there's nowhere for those. There is a place where they do dump these things, and it's just behind my apartment. And it's like that's just means I've got to go out. And I mean, luckily,
could nick it.
Yeah, I mean, anyone could. They just dump it behind somewhere, and it's like, right, they see it as a secure place. But the first two times it happened, literally one day after another, is the driver had got out and he'd seen me. I was like, you didn't even knock, like you didn't even ring the bell for the. He went, no, it's Amazon. We get told we have to. I was like, no, it ain't.
You did not get told not to ring the bell.
You have to at least
being lazy.
It's just an attempt. You've taken on what you've done is you've taken on too many parcels because probably you get paid on a commission, I assumed, and I get it. You know, you want the money, but that's just laziness. But twice in 2 days that happened. I mean, the first time it didn't. I missed. I didn't open the door, but I managed to go outside, walked around to the back. I was like, dude, I'm here, I'm right here. You didn't even do it. You didn't even attempt to knock. And then the second time it was like, okay, I've got no notification to say that they've been. And then it took probably half an hour, 40 minutes before I got the notification from like it being cleared on their devices to send the notification, you know? So like it had been cleared, but I hadn't got the notification. And then I did get it, and then it was like, oh, right, okay, where is it? In the same place as it was the day before.
Did I tell you about the one Luke had?
Luke,
no. So Mr. Bingley ordered something from the website of Bezos recently.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be delivered. It was like, obviously he pays for Amazon Prime. So it's supposed to be next day delivery, but the only options were for like in 2 days. And it was like, oh, whatever, maybe it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, that's bullshit. If you pay for Prime, you should get next day delivery.
Yes.
Sort yourselves out. But this, so it gives you like a window of delivery time, which I also think is bullshit. It said something like between 12 and between like 10 and 5. It said like it was a very large window for this delivery. And I get home from the office at 6. So I got home and Mr. Bingley was like, oh, well, my parcel was supposed to be delivered between 10 and 5 today. And I was like, oh, that was a weird window. And he was like, guess what's still not here? And I was like, oh. So he'd queried it, and, where's my parcel? And, he waited until like, it must have been about like 7 o'clock when it updated saying something like, we've missed you. And he was like, no, you haven't. I've been in all day. And then it gets to 10 o'clock and it changes to something, that one message that's something like, we're sorry it's a little bit late, but your parcel is still on the way.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell it's being delivered today. So what the fuck is going on? But he stayed up until about midnight anyway, on a school night, I might add. Just in case there was one random delivery driver doing late night runs, which, if he was, what the hell? It wasn't delivered. So he gets right onto customer service and is like, what the hell is up with that? Like, he's not knocked on the door. Like, you can get into our building of flats without having to the door anyway, because it's a tradesman button.
Yeah.
And he was like, he didn't obviously didn't even try to get into the building, because even if I hadn't been in, if I'd nipped out, like, there's at least 3 flats in the building that have people that can't leave their flats.
Yeah.
So there's always somebody in to let you in the building. So he ended up, I think he ended up asking like a full refund for it. But he was then supposed to be delivered the next day, so it's already been like 4 days since he's ordered the parcel at this point, and it was still fucking late. He was sitting there and he was like, if he buzzes on the door, I'm not just going to let him in the building. I'm actually going to go downstairs and talk to him and be like, are you the one who was supposed to deliver this yesterday? Because what the fuck? No. This guy actually uses the tradesman button to let himself into the building, leaves it outside the front door, and fucks off. So why they couldn't have done that the initial day it was supposed to be delivered, we don't know. But we were like, seriously? Like, what is the standard for couriers these days?
I don't know. I actually, because like the one I got yesterday, was, again, it was the third time this has kind of happened, but at least they bothered to knock. But the fact that he just dumped it, I mean, it's not about what I got. It's about the principle of the fact. He just sort of like done it, walked off. It was the middle of the day. Anyone could have taken it. Although that said, I had trouble lifting it, and I'll tell you for why. I haven't had.
What did you order for Hydra?
No, it wasn't. No. I mean, the heaviest. To be fair, the heaviest thing for Hydra is sand. But it wasn't that. It was I hadn't had Dr. Pepper in a long time, and I remember. I think you had said it. I think that's what kind of triggered that thought process.
I do enjoy Dr. Pepper.
I can't drink a lot of sweet stuff, as I've explained it to you before.
Yeah.
I get sort of like a bit of a rash from drinking or eating too much, things that contain too much sugar, like high sugar content. So like, I thought, well, there's a lot of places that don't sell Dr. Pepper Zero, so I only get zeros. Anything that's got zero. And even everyone says, "Oh yeah, but it's still got some sugar." It's a lower quantity, so
it's significantly lower.
Yeah, so it's a lot lower. That's why I tend to go for like the Coke Zero or Diet Coke, if I can. So I don't, like I said, I don't often see Dr. Pepper anywhere in shops, or I do, but it's usually just the normal sort of like the full fat.
Yeah, Diet Dr. Pepper's a bit rare.
It's very rare, very, very rare to see it. So Amazon sold it. I was like 8 cans. I'm like, okay, 8 cans. And I thought, oh, I might get something from the gin, so I'll get some 7-Up. But again, zero. I know that's kind of, well, I didn't want to just buy the 8 cans. I wanted to make it worth my while. So I thought, right, that's only 16 cans, isn't it? That's fine. Of course, when the package arrives, I thought, this is a big box for 2 packets of like what I'd ordered, those cans of drinks, and it was really heavy. I was like, oh, did I make the mistake? Or because I opened it up, it was 8 cans of Dr. Pepper, but it was 24 cans of 7-Up. So I was like, wow, well, I've got 7-Up then for the next few weeks. Yeah, so
you'd better get drinking that gin.
I'm gonna. Well, I mean, I think with the amount of 7-Up I've got, I'm just gonna have to keep ordering more gin, which is a shame, isn't it?
Oh, what a problem!
What a dilemma!
Drat, foiled again.
Foiled by my excessive buying of 7-Up. Yeah. So that was. I mean, like I said, it was a better attempt. Speaking of deliveries, before we move on, one last thing I will actually add. Yesterday, I ordered, you'll like this, I ordered from the Chili Jam Man in York.
Oh, top piece.
Right. Some more.
Not sponsored.
No, not sponsored. But
please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. I got some more of the Gemato ketchup because I like that, so it's now my 3rd time I've bought it. But they didn't have the standard hot honey, so they had the hot honey. So I ordered that yesterday. It turned up today.
I think that's the one that I've got at the minute, the hot.
Yes, and as I said, for anyone who I'd said it to, as soon as it arrives, I'm going to try it. So I had like a alternative KFC. It was like one of those slight alternative shops that do fried chickens. As I was like, you know what, I'll just get that. Time was getting on too quickly. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get around to being in. I almost missed the 8 o'clock slot. Well, I did miss the 8 o'clock slot, but only just starting today. But yeah, so I put some of the ketchup on. So I've had that, but I knew what to expect. The heat was exactly how I like it. But it's the first time I've tried the hot honey, and I'd done it with some ice cream So I had some Ben and Jerry's. Again, like I said, I don't eat a lot of sweet stuff due to the high sugar content, and I get with the ration stuff. But I thought, no, I'll it's taken me about a week just to get through half a tub of this Ben and Jerry's. But I thought, no, I'm going to try it with the hot honey, and man, is it good! But my throat was so. I was like, shit, I don't know. I've got about almost 2-hour podcast. I say 2 hours. We average about an hour and 45. I just thought I'll mention it.
Yeah,
I don't know
we don't have to do a long one.
No. But it's.
Or you can just let me sit and rant. That is also an option.
Honestly, you won't be one of the first persons I've had rant in a podcast. I mean, look, we started off with that today. I'm not as heated, but in fact, the hot honey was more heated. Yeah, so it's good. I'm glad I got it, but I've got to be careful. Because I used the same amount of portion as I would have done before. Not really trying it first. I'm like, let me go let me go a little bit less next time. I can still savor the flavor, and it's not too overpowering, which is fine. But yeah, that's the differences between ordering it. I won't even say local. I mean, for me, what you're about 200 miles away. I don't know. You're about but I ordered that yesterday, and the speed, the delivery of it was handled by DHL, so it's different deliveries. People will deliver, and I, like you said about Prime, like Prime should be normally is.
It's gone really downhill recently, though. Hasn't it?
It's shocking, absolutely shocking. Yeah, like the idea of actually having Prime and paying for Prime, you may as well not bother and just get like just normal standard. Although saying that, you will miss out on Prime subs, which you could donate to me, once a month, if you wanted to. So just shouting out,
if you felt like it.
Prime subs are a thing. No ads guaranteed. I'm just putting it out there whilst we're on the subject of Prime. What a nice little segue there. Just to help myself. Yeah.
Again, not sponsored, but no. Please sponsor us, even though we've just been complaining about you.
Yes, we'll take your money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anyhow. Right. So that's the rant out of the way. Deliveries. They're a thing. They are a thing. But yeah.
Speaking of bad delivery, let's segue.
Segue.
Speaking of bad delivery, we have been complaining for a while about a game that we play a lot, Phasmophobia. If you're not sure what it is, go back and check the other podcast. We've talked about it enough. It's a ghost hunting game. That's about as much as I need to tell you. But Steve, why don't you tell us about what they're actually doing about the fact that their updates have been shit recently?
Shit, you know what? I don't. I think it would be just be good thing to go into the thing because of it is like you said, so they have they've just released a new quality of life preview 2. So they've done 2 of these announcements recently, and the next quality of life goes live on July the 21st. So depending on when you're hearing this, it's either just come out or it's due to come out. Or it's been out. That's the right way to say. So part of this, the new quality of life is they're going to be reworking 13 Willow Street. And there's talk of another new ghost as well.
Wonderful, just what we need.
Yeah, we're not even used to the ones before. Basic, yeah. So,
the ones we got given before still don't work. What do you mean we're not used to them?
I say that because they've actually blanked out when it says new ghost. It says it's been retracted, so it just says the. and that's all we can get. I'm always trying to click on it, but I think it's not like a Discord thing where it's
No, I think it's like just redacted.
it is just redacted for the sake of like waiting for the big streamers to go first.
I was going to say it'll be to entice their
their
streamers.
Yeah. So looking at the pictures that I've seen, 13 Willow Street is going to get an update. It's going to be rehauled.
Good, bad, shit.
It's more sort of modern. The garage is now a gym. Yeah, with there's a stairway. I think there's an upstairs now. Which it was always just one. Well, it was one floor, but it was like they had a basement. So I'm not entirely sure. Like looking at the pictures, I think that they've made the basement into a man cave kind of thing.
Okay.
It's more sort of like modern decor. Looking at it, it's set in. Oh, where was it set? It's supposed to be like in Florida or something like that. I think it was. I was just trying to briefly read through it, but I didn't. Yeah. But there's going to be some new cards. Oh, that's Sunseeker. Yeah, so I think it is Florida. It's supposed to be, but there's going to be 2 new cards. Obviously, one is a standard and one is a sparkly one, and you can only get your sparkly one if you watch content creators who are
it's one of the partnered creators, isn't
it? Yeah, so you can only watch those. Generally it's a 2-hour thing, so if you watch someone for 2 hours, I'll probably stream it for about that, but you'll only gain the normal one if you watch my streams when I do it. They had basically made a statement, and they made a statement of like look, this is what they'd stated, and I managed to see this on someone's reels over on I think it was on Insta, and basically they said, look, we basically fucked up on the content creator update. It was shit, and with the update they're gonna fix like a load of stuff. By bringing this out, also the announcement of this also brought out the announcement that they're now going to postpone the 1.0 release.
Yeah, because it's next year, isn't it?
Yes, so it's now going to be next year. So it's now going to be basically 7 years since the game came out. By that point, it will be 7 years when the game comes out. I would imagine they probably won't bring it out until roughly around about October time anyway of next year.
So it's basically been pushed back a full 12 months because it's supposed to come out.
Yeah,
that time this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, I mean that's my guess. That's not what they're saying, but that's my guess. That I think they're going to aim for an October 27, because it makes sense. They want to release it 7 years on, which that for me would be the right choice. However you look at it, whether it's wrong or right. So the Twitch drops are 21st to the 28th. You're going to get the glistening one, but then you have the normal streamers or you get both cards, both player cards. Should you watch the content creators, but if you watch anyone who plays it, you just get the basic static ones, and not the animated ones. 13 Willow Street, new ghost, and they just basically made a massive an apology to like everyone, all of the problems that they've got and problems that we've seen. Having teammates go into the house with a lantern or a fire candlestick, whatever they call it, and it light in the van. You're like, why is it lit in the van? And then you go to reach for it, and it's not there, but it's in someone else's hands in the house. That's been a bug for ages now. There's going to be improvements to the overall VR character, new character animations, improvements to the belt, usability. The characters will now turn instantly depending on where you are looking instead of at set angles. The new quality of life update will bring completely new VR character rig, with further improvements to the belt's usability, improvements to the crouching, animation, held items will no longer sway when walking. The characters' positions will um, accurately represent real life body positions. They've just brought this out along with an apology letter to the fans and said, look, we're sorry, we fucked up, hands up. So I'll look at this on the 21st. I think is usually I think that's a Tuesday because it's usually updates usually do come out on a Tuesday. Because if you watch,
it's either like late Monday night, early Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes, if you look at
American time.
If you look at some of the content creators, like affiliates, content creators, they tend not to do the weekly on the Monday, and they do on the Tuesday. Anyone that I've watched, namely, not to name drop, but yeah, like Insim, Psycho, people that I watch. There are other content creators that other people do watch as well that they are affiliated with, but those are the two that I've been watching. They're all of those content creators are also the ones with their voice lines in the spirit box.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing because honestly, I think reading what they've printed might change, so I don't want to actually come across as lying. So I'll close it down. But yeah, that's the main thing. The main things that are going to address. They're going to fix all the broken stuff, and they're going to bring out a new ghost, and they are going to. It's the rework of Willow. I know why they're doing it. I just wish they wouldn't in some ways because like Willow wasn't that bad of a location.
No, I liked it, but then again, I like Tanglewood.
Tanglewood was good. Yeah, I mean, do you like the new Tanglewood? Is that what you're saying, or you like the old one? You prefer the old one?
No, I liked the old one.
You like the old one, yeah.
But then again, I am autistic and I don't like change.
Yes, I get that.
And now I need to learn a whole new set of hiding spots again.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and new locations of the cursed items, which I still haven't figured out where all the shit is on Tanglewood. You keep telling me, and I just keep forgetting.
Yeah. The only thing I can tell you, which you're not going to forget, the cards are in the same place and the mirror's in the same place. But that's it. That's the only places that haven't changed on Tanglewood. So you'd always find the mirror, but if it's not there and you don't know where the other ones are, then yes, I can see why you'd get confused. They are changing. Just whilst I remember, while you're talking about cursed items, they are changing, like the summoning circle to be, I think, in the lounge. I think that was mentioned. It's upstairs. It used to be on the basement, but if they're giving us an upstairs, because they're in one of the pictures, it did look like there's a set of stairs, unless it's a set of stairs taken from the point of view of the basement, in which case the basement stays where it is. And it's still one level. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Anyway, next Tuesday, I'll jump onto it. I always do. But that's why I didn't play it this week. Because normally I do every Monday, I play Phasmo with with all you guys. And then we do the weekly. And then once we've done the weekly, we either carry on or we don't. It kind of gets a little bit tiresome. But I'd be very interested to see what happens on the 21st. And we'll just see how we go from there. I really don't trust that it won't be broken. I just don't now. It's got to a point where every update has created more problems, or it's, as we often refer it as spaghetti code. It's that. So I'm a little bit. I've got my reserves on it. I'll wait and see what happens. I'll try it, like I said, but trying it and liking it could be two different things.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, you've got to respect the fact that they've finally, released a statement and actually acknowledged that they've been fucking up consistently for the past 2 years. But whether or not they actually follow through, like you said, is an entirely different matter. And at this point, they've, like in the past 2 years, they've made a lot of statements saying that, oh, well, we'll be fixing this, we'll be fixing that. I think we mentioned on this podcast their list of, what was it, like 51 fixes back in
That's
the day?
correct. Yeah, we did, yeah.
And some of those weren't even fixed in that update. They were still broken. So it is just a case of kind of wait and see, isn't it? Because, I mean, every time we load up the game, it feels like somebody gets kicked or disconnected, or, you know, the game's broken, or the ghost can walk through walls, or we can walk through walls.
Yeah. Ultimately, it all started because of the console release.
I genuinely think that they tweaked something when they made the console release that they shouldn't have touched, and ever since then it's just been trying to play catch up and find that bug in the code. But I don't think they've realised that that was the bug in the code. So I think they're looking in all the wrong places, and this essentially what they're doing is patch fixing problems rather than figuring out the root cause.
Yeah, I do want to make a little bit of a not a plea, but there's been a lot of the content creators have gone out their way to not play it anymore until the 21st, which I've seen. Anyone who has gone back to it have made statements, and they've made on their own private, social media accounts. And I've seen one recently where they were appealing for people not to throw too much hate towards certain devs because they are friends with some of the devs, and I think they're getting a lot of stick. I'm not saying to you don't write bad comments, but I think like some of the comments were not really like, it's a game. You know, we've got to remember it is still just a game. And
I mean, it is, but at the same time, like they're devs. This is their job.
This is their job, but like I think they were getting too much of a hate thing happening, and so I was just echoing on that, really. Like, yeah,
I mean, no hate against any of them personally.
No, it's not a personal hate.
Obviously, don't go out your way to message them and tell them they're doing a shit job. Like, that's just being.
That's where they were coming from on the content creator side. That's where they wanted to aim for. There was like, let's not go down, and so I was just echoing that a little bit more so than anything else. But yeah, rightfully so. Complain about something because you're right to do so. That's your right. So complain about something, but let's not overstep the mark, and let's not go down that road of like, personally attacking the person like who might not even be responsible, but because they've put themselves out there in. I know the main dev has kept a low profile, and rightly so. He probably should, because they've always done that. They've never been on any sort of social media, and they usually have people to do it for them. But that said, they have made significantly made a huge amount of money, so they should be, they should be getting a little bit of flack, but let's, not to the point where it's actually.
Yeah, like don't send them death threats, but like
that's what I was just going to repeat.
You can tell them to do better without telling them to hop in a toaster bath.
Yes,
have some restraint.
That's literally what I was echoing. I was just echoing the one whose video I watched, so I can't remember. There was like, no, look, guys, even I make these complaints when if a game's bad, you need to voice your opinion as to why it's bad. But then that's all you need to do. You don't need to then go above and beyond that and start making actual like serious threats, because that's just wrong. If a game's shit, it's a game's shit. The game itself has never really been bad. It's always had other games follow it to try and be the next best ghost hunting thing, and a lot of them have failed. I recently have been playing the other side, which is very much a Phasmo clone, but it's a slight difference that you do have the option to cleanse the housing.
Copy my homework, but don't make it obvious.
Yeah. And it follows the same sort of principles as finding, the EMF, the spirit box, and everything else. but there's you got two play styles. You got the one play style where you identify the ghost, and then the second play style is when you cleanse the ghost. So I played that a few times with our dear friend John. So that's been good. I haven't gone back to it though, just because I've had, and this might be a good segue. I've had other games to play.
What other games have you had to play, Mr. Steve?
Well, you might have heard about this. It's a game called MECCHA CHAMELEON, and it has been doing the rounds quite a lot.
I mean, as we speak, I've just received an invite on Steam to go play it with someone, and I've had to tell them no because we're doing something. So it is very much still making the rounds.
It is. A lot of people, like, normally these games tend to sort of go for a little while and then, they die down. But this seems to be going on and on and on quite a lot. I think. So for anyone who doesn't really know what MECCHA CHAMELEON is, it's basically hide and seek, prop hunt and hide and seek. Whereas I think you could change how the game plays. You could do, infected, or you could do a version where you have one hunter versus however many people are in the lobby. So, and there are quite big numbers. I think you can have 10, 12. I'm not sure if it goes beyond 12, but you can have quite a few people.
I don't know. I think the most we've done is 10.
So you could have 9 hiders and 1 hunter at the start, something like that.
Potentially, yeah. Although typically, if you've got that many people, you really want 2 to start.
Yeah. So there is. You can change the game. Like, you can customize the game to however you want. You can do you could have there's a set time to when you're hiding, and then there's a set time to when the hunt starts, and then the hunters must try to find all of the people hiding. What sets this apart is the fact that you are basically a blank side of canvas. You're kind of I wouldn't say a white stick figure, but you are like a white figure, and you have to hide within the map, depending on the map itself. But there's various items.
For anybody who's struggling to picture it, I've just had the perfect analogy come into my head, so sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
But picture the image of a man that you see on, like, the sign for a toilet.
Oh, yeah.
You're one of those.
Yes.
Or, like, the sign of a guy that's on, like, a fire exit. Like it's not quite stick figure. It's not got any features. You're that.
Yes. Yeah. So you're a blank canvas. So you can be a blank canvas, and then you find somewhere to hide, and you need to blend in by using its paint palettes option, which I've got to be honest is a little bit pain in the ass sometimes. Most of the time.
Sometimes the colour matching isn't great.
The colour matching is a little bit off, but yeah, that's the whole the principle of it is that you try to blend into the whatever it is you're standing next to or in. You can be anything from a flat surface. Some streamers have the rule. Not everyone has the rule of no hiding behind certain areas which are too difficult. So you can if you wanted to hide behind like a dumpster, for example, that is so close to the wall it's very difficult to actually see if you're a hunter. I am not the first to do this, but I have.
Won't be the last.
And I won't be the last, but I've definitely been a whole statue's junk. It's just that it's if you haven't
had some erroneous penises on horses.
Oh man,
penises on cows.
See,
what else have we had?
I thought they would have been. Wouldn't they have been just been teats or is that?
No, because they have udders.
But then, right, okay.
Yeah, but then I've seen people putting, penises on them as well. Dicks on gingerbread men was a weird one. That didn't work at all because there was a candy map. So naturally,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some really funny videos and clips of people playing on the modded maps. There's a lot of modded maps, and going into like the Simpsons house and just painting yourself as like Bart Simpson and just sitting on the bed.
Oh my days!
It's so funny to me. You're not even
There's-
trying, but like it's really funny to me.
See, I've seen a few videos that I don't want to spoil in case I might use them later on against you. So I'm like, that's a good idea. Although to be fair, I did share one where someone had and I'll probably share it with you because it doesn't matter. Someone disguised themselves as a light fan, which
No, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I think
those, yeah,
they just basically made themselves as a starfish, and then they rotated. Actually, do you know what? It's a spoiler, and I don't think I could ever get away with it. I don't know if you've seen this one, Kate, but someone did the art museum. The picture, you know, the famous art museum. You know the one with the Jesus? Yeah. you do know the one. Someone made themselves as a DVD screensaver.
I saw that. It was so funny.
So fucking hell, it was hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen that clip.
And everyone watching was like, oh, because he just missed out on the bounce. It was so good.
Honestly, we should try that next time we have a big group.
I actually want to try it. I don't mind mentioning that one. I definitely want to try it. It's trying to get the movement right and everything. Oh, that was good though. But I think so many people have done the same sort of things as other people because just there's so many clips as well. So, it's hard to sort of not watch them because you do get inspiration from it, but at the same time you're like, I do want to be original, but you can't really be too original because if you haven't thought of it, someone else would then take your idea. So it's, there's always that gonna happen. It's going to become very thin, and to become unique in this. There are some
think out of the box.
You really have to think out of the box, yeah. And I've seen. Hey, we was in one not so long ago where there was a statue laying down, and I thought, I'll hide behind it. So I tried to match myself as best I could. I got seen.
It wasn't hiding it, wasn't there?
There was someone else hiding, but at the front of the bloody thing. So I was like, one of our recent friends that we've just added to the Discord, came into the Discord. I can't remember who it was.
I know who it was, but I'll not say their name on.
No, that's fair enough. No, that's fair enough. But yeah, I was like, wait, you were hiding there? And they went, yeah. So you were the other side of me, and I got seen, and they didn't. I was so pissed because, like, maybe I just didn't blend in well enough, but it was. Well, yeah, I mean, it's so good. It's so good. But this has actually come out. It came out on the 10th of June, so it's been out about a month. And they're made. Oh wow! I don't even know how much they're made, but I think it's like well over. I think it's ridiculously over 1 million copies or something sold within the first like 10 days or something. It's crazy. It's like whatever it is. Oh, it's massively blown up. Yeah, like 50 million in sales since the 5th of July. This was 15 million since the 5th. That was 10 days ago, so it's probably gone up a little bit more since then. And it came out on the 5th of June. 10th of June. So within just under a month. It's like just under 4 weeks. They've actually got 15 million sales, and it's for the UK, it's just under £6.
Yeah, it's about a fiver.
Yeah,
that's cheaper. 5 Great British pounds. In case we have anybody listening who is in the UK,
it's cheaper than a pint in a local.
In York and London, it is.
Absolutely,
I know
it is indeed. It's just yeah. I mean, no, most pints are around about £6 now. So yeah, it's cheaper than a pint.
Disgusting. What's the state of our economy?
It is crazy, isn't it, to think that? So yeah.
Bring back the 5 pence Freddos.
3 to 5 pence for an O.
This has been a public service announcement.
Brought to you by the Mrs.Bingly Corporation.
Yes.
And the Mr. Steve, because I salute that as well. Yeah, I support that. Yeah. So Mecha Chameleon, that's been a thing that we've been doing recently. That has been kind of like I've said, it's taken over the internet right now, because you see it everywhere. People are loading up their clips on just about everywhere. TikTok, Insta, wherever else you can see them. Yeah, that's just been madness. It's good fun. It is good fun. Even though I
enjoy it.
I get a little bit stressed over it because I'm still trying to figure out the controls. But when I find somewhere and I get away with painting it, I do that little sort of like.
Honestly, I get so proud of myself when I find a good spot and I paint it right. I mean, we did a little game. I can't remember if you were in it when we did the Where's Wally map.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't do it, and I missed out.
We need to do it because it's hard, right? It's a big Where's Wally map, and you've got to paint yourself in it. And then the hunters, when they hunt, are like a couple of feet above you, essentially on like a pane of glass, so they can't stand on you and they can't see like the bumps of you. So you've basically just got to colour yourself from the above down, bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And I thought I was doing such a good job, and I just didn't have enough time to finish it. And I was genuinely so proud of myself because like I actually started to blend in with this Where's Wally map, and I was like, honest to God, I've not felt that good about myself in a while.
Oh, you went quiet. Was that no?
No, that was just the end of the anecdote.
Oh, sorry, you went quiet. It scared me. I thought I didn't know if you'd finished.
No.
Right. Okay. Oh, I do know that map. I have seen someone play it, and oh my God, I could relate to this because it's happened to me. But theirs was a much better version of what I did. But they did the Where's Wally map, and they blended themselves in so much so. I was like, that was really good. I was like really impressed with how they blended themselves in. And like I said, I've now done the same kind of thing. They accidentally pushed shift or something, and they moved. So they unaligned. I'm like, oh my God, no! And you can hear. I would have the heartbreak of having to move, but they hadn't been seen, so they quickly adapted to the new environment that they were in. They couldn't realign, so they had to readapt and continue painting. Oh my God, I can't remember the outcome, to be honest. I think they won. I can't remember, but the fact that they are able to readapt to the new surroundings, having just moved. But oh my God, I did less of a job, and I lost my shit. I'm like, no, it took me ages to do it. I couldn't realign. I was like, no, I'm so disappointed in myself and my ability not to be able to push the right buttons. And it's just that one touch, one slight hit off the because it's only on PC. I think, unfortunately, I'd love to see this on console. I think console. I think there's too many, but you might be able to do it. You could use a shoulder button maybe to bring up the paint mode. It is relying on the dual sticks, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's better with mouse and keyboard. That's probably why it doesn't. It might work. I don't know, but I hope they can find a way to adapt to mouse controller. Console, yeah.
I mean, surely there's other console games that have like, where you've got to essentially color in, not necessarily yourself, but like, there's got to be something.
Something, yeah, where they have to use the control. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is, yeah.
We'll see. Like it did blow up quite big, so it would make sense for them to release it crossplay.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, it's great. Yeah, right. I think we can move on from that now. I think we're done on that one. Unless there's is there any other games?
I've been playing a couple of games recently. there's been like a lot of people aren't about on the weekend because, some people have this thing which apparently is called having a social life.
Right.
I don't really understand it. It's a bit of a foreign concept to me. I just sit on my computer or I go out with my husband. But anyway, while I've had to amuse myself on these days when nobody's online, I've been downloading a couple of games. And one of them, I downloaded a little game which a lot of people might have seen on like Reels, which is I'm just trying to find the name of it because as I've started talking about it, I've completely forgotten the name of it, which is so like me.
Is this Seek
God,
Taken?
I need to get diagnosed. Yes, thank you. That is the one. There we go. Yeah, so I'll start that again. This little game that you might have seen online is called Is This Seat Taken? It's a very simple premise. You have these shapes with eyes and expressions and feet, and you have something like a bus or a museum or a concert or a cafe, and everyone has like a criteria of where they want to sit. So some people might want to sit next to a window, somebody might not want to sit next to another character, or somebody might not want to sit next to like strong smells. And you've got to find a way for everybody to have a seat and be happy. So fucking addicting, Steve. Like, honest to God, it was so relaxing and it's such a nice way to just decompress. The only downside of it for me was that I 100%ed the game in less than 4.5 hours.
Yeah, no, I think I was there when you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have happily kept playing that for a couple of days. Like, I genuinely hope they do updates with just some more because I will happily reinstall it and play more. It is a very, like, I don't even think there's another way to describe it. It's just chill. It's a nice little cozy, clicking game where you do it on your own and you don't really need to think, which I quite enjoyed. But the other one that I've downloaded recently is kind of similar to something that we talked about in the old podcast, which I went on about for weeks, and I will likely do the same about this one. It's called Escape from Mystwood Mansion. Now, it is like a puzzle room escape game, which you might guess from the name. So far, I've done about 2.5 hours on it. It's got very similar vibes to Blueprints, and you know how much I enjoyed Blueprints.
Yes.
For anybody watching this podcast who hasn't seen the other part, first of all, go check out the Bits and Pieces podcast. I'm in there from like episode 70 onwards, so start there if you wanna. But it's a good podcast. We've talked about Blueprints. Go listen to my rant. I'll not give you the full rendition now. But what I will tell anybody listening who's listening to this and hasn't listened to the other podcast, the first day that I downloaded this, I started playing the game. And I was playing the game for 23 hours. And I only realised because Mr. Bingley came into the living room and asked, "Did you not come to bed last night?" And I realised it was morning.
Wow.
And you know how much I like my sleep.
Yeah. Yes, clearly you nearly missed the podcast.
Right. And it's not the first time I've been a sleepy girl and nearly missed something. It will also not be the last. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But this is very similar. It's got like, it's similar vibes. It's not similar in the premise or like, I mean, it's kind of similar artwork wise. But the premise of the game is you are delivering a parcel. And you arrive at this mansion, you got to deliver the parcel, and you knock on the door, and it opens, and there's a piece of paper on the desk, and you got to put down the parcel and walk out, and the door locks behind you. And you find out that you are essentially like a test subject, and you have to, work through each of the rooms to get out of the mansion and deliver the parcel to the room it's supposed to be delivered to. I'm quite enjoying it. I mean, some of the parcels, bloody hell, some of the puzzles, you can tell I'm tired, are a little bit basic, and therefore I like severely overlooked them. At one point, I got completely stuck because I knew the answer to a puzzle, but I didn't know what puzzle it went into, and it took way longer than it should have for me to realise that there was only one puzzle left that I hadn't solved, and I was so stuck on the idea of a different solution to that one that I just hadn't considered it was for that. But again, that's the tism talking. But it is quite fun. I'm definitely going to keep playing it. I think I'm about halfway through. I've got 10 out of 20 achievements at the minute. But I would recommend it if you're a fan of like escape room, puzzle kind of click and plays. I don't think it's the largest game, but so far I'm enjoying it more than the actual Blueprint sequel, which I'm also trying to find the name of because I did not think I'd be talking about it. In all honesty, there we go. There it is. The actual sequel, not sequel, but second game released by the same publisher called The Seance of Blake Manor. That is almost exactly the same artwork style as Blueprints. And you can tell they've tried to go for, running off the hype of Blueprints.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy it because
No.
it has, it's got this like time importance factor.
Yeah.
Whereas you'll have to do certain tasks before people like get back to their hotel rooms because everybody's staying in a manor for a conference. And that is too stressful for me. One of the things I liked about Blueprints was it didn't matter how long I took as long as I was careful about the steps that I was taking. And you only go down a step when you walk into a new room.
Yeah.
So I could do whatever I wanted in that room and it was fine. I liked that. So I'm not so much a fan of the Seance of Blake Manor. But this other one, Escape from Mystwood Manor, I'm really enjoying it so far. And I would probably recommend it to other people. I think you would probably like it, Steve.
I was just watching that. Yeah, no, I'm watching the trailer of it in Steam.
Yeah.
I mean, have seen this on stream somewhere. So I'm sure I've seen someone play this, but it looks familiar at least.
I mean, it's supposed to be what, £14.29. It's currently on sale for £7.
Yeah.
Again, for anybody foreign watching, that is 7 great British pounds. But yeah, there's not really much to say. It's just another chill solo player game that doesn't really have particularly high stakes. Cozy, I think, is the tag that's on the actual game page.
Yeah, it is. If you said that the two games that you've just selected both have cozy in as tags, so yeah, that makes. To be honest, because I'm on the game page and it does say, when you're like, if you're on Steam and then there's like, is this game relevant to you?
Yeah, it's like other games you have that are similar as well.
So I was about to say, because I have this I actually have strange antiquities. Sorry, it's a fucking hard
strange
word.
antiquities.
There we go. Yes. They also did another one. There's 2 games that they brought out, but this looks kind of along the similar sort of like vibe that you've got to match the. There's potions or the flowers because there was 2, I think, 2 games from the same publisher, Bad Viking, or different developers. Horticulture, that's the one. Yeah. There's.
Oh yeah, I've got strange horticulture.
Yeah.
I think I got it free on Epic.
So because they're both the same style game. They're from the same developers, and it's also relevant it's asking me if these were relevant to me because of the the escape from Manor. What's it called?
Escape from Mystwood Manor.
Mystwood Manor. That's it. Yeah. Or Mansion, I should say. Escape from Mystwood Mansion. But because it says, is this game relevant to you? Both those games are suggested. And I'm like, yeah, I've got those. So I've got those ones, and I can see why it would sort of like resonate a little bit. Because it does look good. And I like the idea that I like little puzzle games. You have to solve things. Yeah, I've added it to wishlist. So that and the last one that you mentioned, Is This Seat Taken? I've added that to one wish list as well. But yeah, I will probably wait until I get I'll wait until I get paid, and hopefully, I don't know when. Oh wait, it ends on the 26th of July. Well, maybe I think I'll get paid about then as well, so I might have time. so, so I should be okay.
If not, the Escape from Mystwood Manor only goes up to 14 quid. You know, it's not a huge game.
No, it's not huge. So yeah. Worst case scenario, I'll pay full price, but that's full price. It's still worth paying. Yeah. Hey, support your indies. That's what I say.
Support your indie devs.
Yeah, 100%. I think we've always stated that whenever we've done like anytime we've done gaming podcasts, we've always tried to do that. Yes, I have occasionally jumped into like a AAA game, but then very rarely.
Fortnite.
Yeah. Yes. But I do like these indie games that come up now and again. So yeah, I probably will get it. I might get both of them actually. Yeah, just because something different to try and do. I think I did say it to you not quite recently when you was playing Is This Seat Taken, that I am looking to try and refresh my... I needed something fresh that wasn't just Slay the Spire. As much as I enjoy it, I think
this was the conversation we'd had, wasn't it? Because I was very much of the opinion of, I'm sick of dying on Slay the Spire. I need to play something else.
And yes, whilst they are single player games, there's something you can just sort of like chill out to. You could play it whilst having a conversation. You could, I don't know if I could do that myself. I need to have the concentration, but I know that it's easily done. I could be in a call. I couldn't do it whilst I personally can't do something like this while I'm talking on a podcast. While I'm in a call, I could. There's less stress there because I'm going to forget something. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so should we move on? Still got a couple of more things that we can get on with. So that's pretty much the gaming stuff that we've been doing. There'd probably be games that I have been doing and I completely forget to mention. Oh, the Backrooms. I'll quickly mention it just before we do actually move on. I recently played Escape the Backrooms with a couple of friends of ours. I didn't finish it, but I know they were going to try and finish it tonight. Obviously, because of the podcast, I couldn't join. But yeah, it's the first time I played it, and it's been out for a while. It's been out for a while on Steam, but I think it's only just recently come out on console. So they are two console players. That's why they've picked it up. Honestly, my first time playing it, I got a clip from that got about over 800 views on TikTok. So yay. But pure screaming throughout, couldn't do it. Got to the second area. There's a level that apparently you could skip, I was told, as we found out yesterday. Honestly, in a group, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Scary, but funny at the same time.
I think this is what I'd said to our mutual friend who likes to play horror games with a heart condition.
Yeah.
Like, we played it just the two of us, and I'm in professional and official wording, I am what is known as a pussy when it comes to horror games. So I hated playing the Backrooms with this mutual friend of ours, and I did say to him, like, if we get a big enough group, I'll try it again, because sometimes it is more fun with a group. I won't play fast single player, but I'll play it with people.
Yeah.
But there was too much anxiety in there for me. I'm not gonna lie. To the point where I died and I just left the game. And I just left Sneaks to keep doing that. So I didn't tell him I'd left. I was still on the call.
No.
I was just sitting there to talk about what was
happening. He told me.
Of course he did.
So yeah, because you was away yesterday. You was out. Out. So whilst you were out,
that we'll get to.
Yes. And it was like, right. yeah, me and Kate done this. I was like, yeah, I know. Kate had mentioned like you'd done something. You played a couple of rounds. He went, no, it wasn't a couple of rounds. I went, oh, okay.
It was a round.
It was a round. Yeah. So it was like it was a round. I went, okay. So obviously we got quite far in, and we had our other friend who came in as well. So there's 3 of us playing it. I got further than I did solo because I just shit myself otherwise. And even though it was kind of scary, it was funny because there was the back rooms. Sometimes there's monsters and sometimes it's a puzzle. Sometimes it's both. And we found that when it was, there were some monsters that can see you. There's some monsters that can hear and see you, and there's some monsters that can just hear you. When we got to there was one location we got to where I had seen the area. I'd seen a streamer do it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I know roughly what I'm supposed to be doing." And it instantly says, the monster chasing us has good hearing. Don't make a sound. As soon as the monster come within sight, someone ran past me whilst I was walking quietly. So I had the monster constantly up my arse. And I'm like, I cannot go any faster because I will make a sound and die. I also I didn't know where to go. Although I'd seen the level being played out, I didn't know where to go. And I'm like, where is everyone? Because we were doing it in Discord and not in game. Now I can imagine it working probably better in voice chat and in game, proximity sort of like chat because of the keeping your voice down and it being I nearly said a ghost then, but a entity that can hear you. Because we were in Discord, I was able to sort of like shout and scream, "Where are you? Where are you? Damn it! You've done this to me. Oh, this thing's chasing me now." And all I could hear was laughter. And they were hiding. And I knew where they were hiding. I found out where they were hiding. So I led the entity to them. And I like, see you later, you're on your own. But it didn't stay there. The monster didn't stay there.
Should.
So it didn't fucking stay there. No, it followed me. Eventually it killed me. And then I had to wait until, because like in the group, if you die, that's it, you're out. But you get to see through your, whoever you're with, you get to see through their POV. You can switch cameras, as it were. And I was switching between 2 of them. And honestly, it was the funniest thing ever. So, as you said, Sneak had run off. He got to the end. But our other friend who wasn't there didn't know where to go. And I'm flicking through both perspectives. And I'm like, this is just too funny. You got Sneak hiding in the elevator waiting, and our other friends running around going, "I don't know where to go." We were like, "Don't make a sound," and they're crouching, so they're even quieter than normal. It's like, oh my god, they can't move fast. And there was 2 exits opposite each other, and they went down the wrong one.
Oh no!
Oh no! We laugh. So I'm laughing. It was absolutely hilarious. It's terrifying and hilarious, but it's a good sort of like jump scare, it was fun. And I think in a bigger group it just made it more interesting. Like I said, there were a couple of rounds that we did where it was just no monsters and it was just solve the puzzle. So we spent maybe too long trying to solve a puzzle. And I think every time, the whole time we were in this area, I was actually waiting for something to jump out at me, though. But that never came to be. So yeah, we didn't need to worry too much. But yeah, there was a couple of areas it was just puzzles. Then there was a bit of both. There was different types of areas where you had to just use a different mechanic or something. There was one area where it was just pure blackness, and then you had to keep highlighting the area, so it paints dots in order to highlight certain objects.
Mm.
The enemy was red, and your teammates were all in yellow because you're all in those thingy suits. What's this? I can't remember what they're called. But yeah, it was good. It was good fun. We had a laugh. We got to one of the last areas that we got to. I couldn't do. It got late, so I came off, and it had the most annoying soundtrack playing on a loop, and that was irritating. But it was also late, and there was So we ended it there. But yeah, that was my first proper experience of the Backrooms or Escape Together. And that was, like I said, it's a couple of quid. It's not that dear. But because it's only just come out on console, that's why we all decided to play it. But I think it's been on Steam since about 2022. I think 22, yeah. But anyway,
Well,
yeah.
it will have like gained popularity with the recent Backrooms game, won't it?
Oh yeah. So there's supposed to be some event because of the movie that came out recently. So yeah, it's made its way around. It's looped back around in popularity, as you said, because of a movie. Anyway, speaking of movies, let's move on. Let's going into the last sort of like hour or so now. So yeah, if we go into talk about other things that we wanted to get mentioned. Yeah. Where do you want what?
Well, I mean, you're saying speaking of movies, so I can take the segue if you want. Speaking of movies, the reason why I wasn't around last night and Mr. Steve was playing the Backrooms without me, what a shame. Can't believe I missed out on that. I'm devastated, as you can no doubt hear. Was because my husband surprised me with an impromptu trip to the cinema, which we do enjoy having impromptu trips to the cinema, as Mr. Steve is very aware.
Yeah.
And we went to see the new Supergirl film. Now, I was very excited to go see this film because we love superhero movies, and it stars Millie Alcock, who I just think is a phenomenal actress. She is doing such a great job. All the love in the world to her. I was a little bit dubious, purely because of the amount of online hate. But honestly, in my opinion, it was quite a good movie. You know, it had similar vibes to the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. How there was darker themes, but it was a fairly light-hearted thing. Like it wasn't too dark and dreary, and there were comedic moments. It was well balanced, which I quite liked. Had Jason Momoa in it, which is always a plus because the man is hilarious. Again, much love. And I just enjoyed it, to be honest. I think a lot of the online hate has been primarily because it's a woman being a superhero, so obviously she's stepping outside of her lane. Because that's a thing that people apparently think. But it was good. It was one of the better DC films that I've seen for sure. And it did trigger a bit of a conversation between me and Mr. Bingley. Well, it triggered two conversations, actually. The first one was about how DC have kind of made a bit of a mistake. If they'd kind of chosen something and stuck with it, they would have an in film. That's not the phrasing I'm after. An in cinematic universe as big as Marvel's by now. And the fact that they keep choosing like the same four characters and just rehashing it over and over again is such a mistake. But the second conversation is one that you'll probably be interested in, Mr. Steve, because we were talking about, the fact that there's been so much hate around this film and the, sexism behind it all. And I was comparing it, which is a wonderful segue into where I know that you wanted to go, to the Supergirl TV show.
Right.
Now,
right. Yeah.
people might not be aware, in 2015, there was a Supergirl TV series. It starred Melissa Benoist. Benoist? I don't know how to pronounce her name. But you might know her from other things such as Blue Bloods. She was briefly in Glee. She was I think she was the girl that started off as an eating disorder, one of the fan casts that joined the show for a little while. towards the end of it. She's been in things like Masters of the Universe.
All right.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that people might know from Patriots Day, if you ever saw that, the 2016 film. But she is a really good actress again. And this TV series got so much hate. So much hate. And, I think for its time, 2015, it was so progressive in terms of like feminism and the LGBTQ community. It was it was a very big TV show that had a lesbian couple on it very prominently until it got axed when one of the actresses wanted to leave and didn't, and the writers decided to kill off the character rather than give them a happy ending, which did cause some controversy. But Melissa, I'm not even going to attempt to say her last name again because I am butchering it and I'm so sorry. But Melissa, who played Kara Zor-El, who is Supergirl, got so much personal hate, and I think it's kind of what's caused it to take a bit of a back step from being in Hollywood. Because for some reason, people, particularly men, and this isn't all men, it's a particular subsect of men, really have a problem with women playing superheroes. Like, really big problem with it. There was a lot of controversy around this TV show about her playing a superhero. There was comments on her not being pretty enough or being thin enough, or which actresses would have been better cast than Melissa. Which the reason why it triggered the conversation with Mr. Bingley was because I saw just before we went in to watch the Supergirl film that there was similar comments saying that Millie Alcock, who plays Kara Zor-El, should have been replaced with somebody like Sydney Sweeney. That was a specific example that I saw, and I just want to put out there, Sydney Sweeney could not have done this role. She's good in some things. If you've seen her in The Housemaid, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go watch that film. Amanda Seyfried, top tier, chef's kiss, brilliant. But I don't think Sydney Sweeney could have done this role. It needed somebody grittier. It needed somebody who can show not necessarily more pain, but like, you're going to laugh at this phrase because I've said it a lot this year, more feminine rage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This character is very human for being a superhero. It's all about loss and grief and vengeance and justice, and this idea of like, how far are you going to go to avenge somebody, and how far are you going to watch somebody else go to avenge somebody. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil the film for anybody who might want to go watch it. But Millie Alcock was perfect for this role. If you've seen her in House of the Dragon, you'll know that she can do dark and gritty and pain, and she does it very well. But in this, she also really gets the chance to balance it with like comedic timing, and she plays like a partying lifestyle for a brief section of the film, which she does perfectly, and it feels like a kid in their 20s, which I know she's a fairly young actress anyway, but it was very well done. And I want to put rumors to rest. If you haven't gone to see this film and you enjoy superhero films, go and watch it. Don't listen to the hate, because a lot of it is just from incels. Is it the best superhero film you'll ever see in your life? No. Is it the worst? Definitely not. Nothing could be worse than Morbius. It's not even in the bottom half of superhero films I've seen, to be honest. Like, it's just lighthearted. I say lighthearted. It has very dark themes. It's not all lighthearted. But you come out of it and you feel good about yourself. You feel good about the journey that you've watched.
Yeah, okay.
Which kind of brings us on to the topic that we actually wanted to talk about tonight, which is TV shows.
Yeah,
because we talked about the Supergirl TV show, so that was my attempt at a segue there. I don't know if that worked. If it didn't, I'm sorry. You can leave this rambling in. I'm sure some of the viewers will get a laugh out of it. But yeah, we've wanted to talk about TV shows for a while, haven't we? You've wanted to talk about TV shows for a while.
I do, and the reason it's now, see, this is going to be a weird one for me to say this because I don't actually watch a lot of TV anymore. I just don't feel there's enough TV to watch. There is TV out there, but like in terms of terrestrial TV, I think that's now finished. I think it's now over.
Yeah.
I think for me that probably died in the 2016, something like that. Maybe a bit later than that, but you know, once we got to a point of lockdown was just offering so many choices for streaming services. It was basically you could watch anything you wanted to watch on a streaming service, which I am going to pretty much get into a little bit on that as well. But I wanted to start off. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, to start off, I'm going to ask you a question because I feel like this is where you're going to go anyway. What is your favourite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I mean, if I was to pick something from what I enjoyed when I was younger. Now, believe it or not, when I said last week, I didn't like a lot of horror. I never used to watch horror when I actually didn't mind because it was weird. I didn't mind watching The X-Files. It's a very early 90s. It's an early 90s, like sort of late 90s thing. But you can now, you know, with the streaming services, you can now rewatch any of those. There was a good few episodes that really stood out in that. But those are the sort of things I liked. I mean, there's no point in me not mentioning the fact that I did enjoy the sort of 2005. The 2005 reboot of Doctor Who was good. I mean, look, I've got a whole.
Eccleston was
right.
Top tier.
It might be worth mentioning, maybe, based upon I got like a full leg sleeve of certain sci-fi connections.
How did I not know this about you?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, right. So
how has this never come up in conversations? To you?
I have a TARDIS, which is flying amongst the Millennium Falcon and the Enterprise.
Dude.
Right.
Okay, complete aside, I'm so sorry to the viewers, but we're having this conversation. When we get off this podcast, you have to send me fucking photos of your tattoos because I thought you only had one on your arm. What the fuck, Steve?
No. I will send.
Talked about my tattoos.
I will send you the legs. I won't send you the leg. I want it. I don't want, like, you're not having it. You're not having my leg.
No, I'm mounting it. I'm stuffing it and mounting it on my wall. And you get what you deserve.
I no longer have my leg. I will send you photos. I'll send you photos. But, okay. So, based on that information, it's easy for me to say I liked watching. I still now and again go back to watching like things like Voyager and stuff like that. I'm very much a sci-fi nerd type. You know, I say nerd. I can't quote things, but I enjoyed those are the things that I would have enjoyed watching when I was, you know, younger. Throughout the 90s. So yeah, those are that. I can't not mention it, but Buffy as well. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, that's where I thought you'd want to get on to.
I actually do enjoy that. But yeah, there was a good few episodes of the X-Files was something that I like to watch. For those who didn't really know, the X-Files was basically two characters basically, really. It was like Agent Fox Mulder and Agent Deanna Scully. Now, Deanna Scully was brought into the X-Files in order to investigate Mulder's... like, they were FBI agents, and he was part of the X-Files investigation team. And they wanted to keep an eye on him. They thought there was something going on that maybe they needed someone on the outside to look in. So they invited Dana Scully to be his partner, but also be able to report back to their main boss. That's kind of like the premises of the whole show. And it was like, throughout the series, throughout the years, I don't know, how many did it go on for? I can't remember. It was like 94 to 99 or something like that. And it went on for about, I think there was about that many series, one series per year. So, but yeah, they built a relationship up throughout the years, throughout the series. Eventually, I think cast members wanted to get off. I think it went on for 10 years. I think it actually went on for 10 years because they managed, they ended with two movies. And then they did a series 10 or 11 or something like that in 2010, I think it was. They brought out a small mini series. Anyway, yeah. So X-Files was one of the big things. One of my favorite. There's two actually. I've got a couple of favorite episodes. Was How the Ghost Stole Christmas, and based upon the information that you've got, where Deanna was first introduced in season 1, and then we get into sort of season 8, I think it was, or 6. Season 6. At this point, they're now developed a relationship where they become quite close, but there was no real sexual chemistry between them, but they wanted to, I think the writers wanted to force that upon them anyway. And this episode helps do that because it's based on, so the Christmas themed episode, FBI agents Fox Mulder and Deanna Scully respond to a call about a haunted house in Maryland. The house is said to be haunted by spirits of a couple who committed suicide in a pact during the Christmas 1917. As they investigated, they find themselves trapped inside the house where they encounter the ghosts, Maurice and Linda, who aim to demonstrate the profound loneliness that can be accompany the holiday season. The episode explores themes of love, loss, and emotional struggles of characters, particularly highlighting the relationship between Mulder and Scully. And that episode was really good. It stole it kind of like a Christmas, Ghost of Christmas Past, like the Dickens story, kind of along those lines. Plot twist. I don't know if I should spoil it.
I'm sure it's been out long enough.
It's been out long enough. This was 98.
I think the statute for spoilers has passed.
The ghosts created scenarios where each of like either Fox Mulder would come across a doppelganger of Scully and vice versa, and eventually they get to a point where they shoot each other. And underneath the floorboards are the two deceased Mulder and Scully. But they only later on find it out. And they go through like a time lapse within the house. It was a really good episode. And they finally do escape, realizing that the whole thing was a hoax and it was an illusion. But it was done in the sense of trying to get them together and realize that you shouldn't be alone at Christmas and you can find love. And that was kind of the bridge between how they later on. I think it's only in the movies they explore the idea that they ever actually get together and actually make out. And to the point, I think Scully has a child. Anyway, I don't know, I'm spoiling the movies, but that doesn't matter because they were 2010. But yeah, they were good. There was a couple of episodes similar to that. There was another one where they was on board a ghost ship. But it's Mulder who goes back in time to when it was a World War II German boat, and Scully's there trying to lost. They pass each other in the hallways, but at 2 different time periods. And they can feel each other's presence, but they don't know it. They feel it as a cold presence, as a cold chill. It's the series is pretty much based around the idea of like Mulder being wanting to focus on whether we are not alone in the universe, aliens and paranormal. And that's pretty much the premises of the whole X-Files. And that's why it's called the X-Files. I think at one point they close the X-Files down later on in the series and it gets reopened. Yeah, there's a lot that happens. In fact, as a side note, but also keeping within the X-Files, there's an episode called Drive, which has Bryan Cranston, and it's from this moment they realise, I think it was Vince Gillen who wrote the episode, who then went on to write Breaking Bad, and he realised then he could create the character of Breaking Bad, Walter White. So it's that episode that inspired Walter White later on.
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's I don't think that's the only episode that's inspired something, but that was the biggest inspiration episode that's created something big, as big as the X-Files itself. Like, if you've not, again, another good series actually, although it was a streaming service on Netflix, Breaking Bad. I didn't watch that when it first came out, but I watched it kind of after the whole series had ended, the whole season got to the end. I'm like, right, I just watched it from start to finish. That was another good TV thing I watched. And I liked, because a lot of a lot of streaming services, they do this where they either release it as a episodic, or they release it in one chunk, and then you just watch each episode, and you could just do a whole marathon, binge watch it. I think they do that with Stranger Things. I think they do that.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it with a couple of things, especially the likes of Netflix. What they've been doing is kind of like splitting a season in half and releasing the first half of the season, letting everybody watch it, and then like 6 months to a year later releasing the second half.
Yeah. There's a lot of TV that I've done like that. Like, I didn't watch like another series. I'm going to briefly talk about The Walking Dead. Whatever. I
did enjoy The Walking Dead, but I've got to admit I stopped watching it after a certain character was bludgeoned.
Yeah. No, I know. I
tried to keep watching it, and I maybe got like another season in, and I just didn't feel the same.
No, I know which one you talk. Yeah, do you know what? For me, it was all about watching season 1 to season maybe 6. I stopped watching it after, again, I tried to watch it after a certain character left, but couldn't get back into it. I pity the people who got stuck in that dizzy spell of watching a series as it's released. And then I didn't do that. And I'll tell you what it was. It was Game of Thrones.
Okay.
People got pissy about, they have to wait 2 years now because they took a bigger gap for the final season to happen. And I'm like, I don't care. I watched the whole thing in lockdown. So that was...
I mean, I've got to admit, right, I've done both. You know that I'm a big fan of bulk consuming, shall we say.
Yeah.
And I did the same with Game of Thrones, I think, as you did. Like, watched it on, I think it was like Amazon at my father-in-law's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I do enjoy being able to just, consume. But I found an exception to the rule, because I don't know if you know of the TV show called The Handmaid's Tale.
I've heard of it.
Right. So I started watching The Handmaid's Tale a little while after it had come out, and then I kind of stopped because there was a lot of controversy around Elizabeth Moss, who was one of the main actresses, being a Scientologist, which I just don't really support. Like, it was sketch, and it put me off. But there has been a spin-off released on Disney Plus, and the spin-off is called The Testaments. And it's supposed to be about, so it centers around the next generation of people from The Handmaid's Tale. So, like, kids that have grown up in Gilead, which is this, was America, now hyper-Christian, give me children or I will die kind of society. And they released it, one episode every week for this first season that's just come out. And I actually really enjoyed. I was looking forward to watching the episode on a Wednesday, and I do kind of miss that in a sense of, like, it gave you something to look forward to in the week.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the fact that I now have to wait until announce and release season 2.
Right. Yes.
But I did quite enjoy like being able to pace myself with it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
know. There's something
Yeah.
to be said for both.
Yes, I know. This is where I come back into bringing out the weekly episodes. So, yes, when lockdown became a thing, there was like I said, I didn't need to wait weeks, years, weeks, months, years, and whatever it was for a series to start to finish. I could just consume it, and we had, let's face it, we had about 2 years of being not allowed to not to do much. Although the second year was more you're free to do things, but I was able to watch, like I said, a lot of series, and I think one of the other series that I watched, just because it was trying to pass time, was also comedies. It wasn't just like science fiction, although it's kind of linked. The Big Bang Theory. Now, I don't whether that's up anyone's street. A lot of people, you either like it or you hate it. Fine, either way.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoy. But I watched it because of lockdown, and I've watched it all the way through. I think obviously, let's face it, with my connections with in regards to my tattoos and stuff, and the content within the show is obviously aimed at these socially awkward nerds, who get along together as a group, and they like the same types of stuff, that being either Star Trek, Star Wars, and or both. So I watched things like that, and I never really watched a lot of American TV, but then there was times when it was like Friends was another one.
Yeah.
I think I remember watching, but I think I started watching Friends when it was on a weekly thing. But I finished watching I didn't, but then I stopped, and then I watched the last 2 seasons, depending on where you're from. Again, lockdown may have been the reason why I watched the last 2 seasons, because I stopped watching that. I kind of gave up sort of at a certain point. I was like, I can't be bothered to watch it anymore. Or my work got in the way, as is the case of most reasons why I didn't watch a lot of things, because my work got in the way. And I wanted to set aside to doing other things, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, did you watch this week? Have you watched this? Have you seen?" I'm like, "No, but I get around to doing it eventually." Lockdown came along, I got to do it eventually. So yeah, it was that. So yeah, so for me, I could list a few things there. Friends, Breaking Bad, Big Bang Theory, and even in its early time, like in terms of comedies and stuff, like back when he was good, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I get that.
There was things like that I would watch. Again, comedy series in America, they seem to be a lot of those. So you either take it or leave it. But I kind of enjoyed those, and yeah, like all of the things that I've mentioned. My favorite would be Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which spawned off the back of a really bad movie. And
I have seen the movie. It was not great.
It was not the best. So that came out right early in the 90s, I think. I can't remember. I don't have the information, but it was not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It was a bit. There was one scene in it where the vampire dies so badly. It's like the most overreacted thing in the world. But they were trying to play for laughs, and it obviously didn't work. I actually can't remember who was in that one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Josh Whedon, before he did Avengers, done Buffy the Vampire. He reinvented it.
He was the king of sci-fi in the 90s.
Yes.
For all he's a piece of shit and a woman abuser, like he is.
Yeah.
He knew what he wanted to do. He had a vision and he saw it.
But thankfully, the one, let's face it, there's only a couple of good things that come from him, and that was Buffy was one of them, and then Avengers was two. And that's it. That's the only things I can say that's nice about him. But getting to the piece at hand, 97 to 2003, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Was it 10 seasons? I can't remember.
I should know this, but I don't off the top of my head.
Or 7. I think no.
It's
they made 7. Recently there was talk of rebooting it, but sadly that is no longer a thing, and that literally happened right at the time where Anthony Head sadly passed.
Do you know what it was? The reason why I got cancelled? Because I'm gonna just look it up. I'm pretty sure I know what it was. Because it was actually a little bit before Anthony Stewart Head died. It was around the time that Nicholas Brennan died.
Brendan.
Yeah. So, I mean, the announcement was that it was like internal executive resistance and like creative issues with the pilot episode. There was a lot of like plot issues around the pilot, apparently, but there was a lot of talk around the idea that it was cancelled because Nicholas Brendan had died. And it's been very painful for a lot of the cast. Obviously, Charisma Carpenter has a bit of a love-hate relationship with it because she was abused by Joss Whedon. But she loved the show and she loved the cast. So it's obviously going to be tough for her. You had Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Dawn, passed away early in her 30s.
Yes.
Very young. So that was very painful. And then Nicholas Brandon and Anthony Stewart Head in fairly quick succession. There's just, as awful as it sounds, there's not a lot of them left.
No, sadly.
But it was something that I was quite looking forward to seeing.
Yes, no, I again, when we sort of like they throw it out in the rumor mill, and then it's like, maybe they could do it, maybe they wouldn't, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, I don't think they will now. Sadly, that's that. The closest thing I've got to this is that there was a audible play where some of the cast returned, apart from Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think James Marsters did. Anthony Head had returned briefly. I'm not sure who else. I think Emma Caulfield Ford, who done Anya.
Yes, Anya.
I think she returned in that little play that they did. It was. I think the point was of the story, at least they were trying to there was a new Slayer. They were introducing a new Slayer and training her. I think they was training her up, and I think that's how the story basically went. And it was an okay. It was the only thing I've heard. I say heard because it was an audible thing, but that was ever close to being another episode, and it was just. I think it was only a one-off. I'm not sure. I think it might have only been a one-off. But it was good. It was good enough, but it weren't great. It weren't the same thing. I'd like to have seen. I think they did make comics because they wanted to tie up some loose ends from season 7. Speaking of loose ends, there's a couple of plot points that were a bit weird. Like, I think it was good to bring in Michelle Trachtenberg, but like as Dawn Summers, but she came in like 3 years later as Buffy Summers' sister, younger sister.
I mean, I've got to be honest, Steve. When I first watched these films as a teen, it's one of the only good things that my mother's ever done for me was getting me into those, like those kind of TV shows. When I started that season, can you remember the first episode with Dawn? Because the first episode with Dawn, it opens up and you have like opening credits. their typical 90s fashion.
Yeah.
And Dawn is in every scene.
Yeah.
And I remember turning to my mother, who had bought me the DVD sets of Buffy, because I'd said that I wanted to watch them all.
Yeah.
And I turned to her and I was like, have we skipped a season? Who is this person? And she was like, "Well, check the box. What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, it says it's the right one. It's got the right season printed on the DVD. Let me check I've put the right one in." So I put it in. Yes, definitely the first episode of the season. I had to put watching that episode on pause for a full 20 minutes while I convinced myself that I put the right CD in.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's weird.
Once I convinced myself, my mother has the audacity to turn around and go, "Yeah, well, think about how I felt in the 90s when it was released week by week, and all of a sudden there's this character showed up that nobody knows but is apparently vital to plot." And I was like, "You cheeky fuck, you couldn't have told me that 20 minutes ago before I started autistically hyperfixating on it."
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Throw me a bone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, throw me a bone, please.
Fucking hell.
But in terms of like a literary or a cinematic device, that was like, I've not seen it. I hadn't seen it done before, and I've not seen it done since. Whereas you literally like put in a character and just act like they were there all along.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because a lot of TV shows do that, where an actor changes and they expect you to believe that's who that is all along.
Yes,
it's like,
but with this, there was no Dawn before Michelle.
No, there wasn't. No,
I will say the only thing I've seen since that was even remotely similar, and you're gonna laugh at this comparison, is Mr. Meeseeks in Rick and Morty.
Right.
It's the only time I've seen it done since, but it was such a wild thing for me as a teen to be like, well, wait a minute, who the fuck is this?
Who's that?
I've been binging this. I know that this character isn't in here. And now all of a sudden they're acting like she was there for all of it. And she's always been her kid sister. Have I missed a trick? It was wild.
Yeah. Let's face it, the entire premises of the show was wild. And in a good way sometimes. There was so many there was some good storylines. It was fun. It was, I suppose it's the equivalent of what a sort of teen, it's teen, isn't it? Teen horror, fantasy. So, in terms of like
it's teen fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah. It was good. I loved the fact that I was fooled to not knowing that that James Masters was American. I was like, what the?
Steve, I cannot express to you how much of an obsession I have with that man.
Yeah, right.
I have told my husband, if he was single and he asked me to, I would run away with him. I don't care that he's in his 60s. Like, I would do it. Yeah. That man has a hold on me like Jamie Campbell Bower.
Well, yeah, I get that. I mean, yeah, no, he's not an unattractive man. But yeah, that for me was like seeing him do one thing that stood out was when he approaches Buffy at some point and he mentions like Man United and like, what? wait, what? You're bringing in like what football references in an American TV show, and it shouldn't work, but it did. But that, again, I think that comes down to like the good writing. Really, it's just it was so well done.
It was.
I will say, like, he had a lot of it. Given its trying to think of the right thing here when I say this. Given how it was dressed and how it was, a lot of TV shows didn't want to shy away from certain subject matters within they wanted to also address, there was troublesome teens within it's a teen show aimed at teens, made from the eyes of teens, but it does touch upon a lot of, bearing in mind it was like when it first came out, this is supposed to be in like 90s, so a lot of subject matters were very you couldn't really touch it. But it did actually have a couple of episodes that were pulled. And one of them, I do recall, The episode in question was Earshot. It was season 3, episode 18, and the point of it was originally scheduled to air on April the 27th, 1999, but they pulled it because of the Columbine High School massacre, which happened on April the 20th, literally 7 days before. So they didn't air it. I think they did. I can't remember how it worked. I think as it aired in America, UK got it a couple of months later, so we were a couple of months behind.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, we're not. It's an American thing, so they pulled it then because of what happened was there was a couple of troublesome teens who wanted either to be with Buffy or wanted to destroy Buffy in some way. So they set about these becoming like a bit of a cult. And
I mean, you had a couple of things similar with the character of Warren, didn't you? There was a couple of episodes,
yes,
that were along those lines.
So in that episode, I think it's Jonathan and Warren. You might be they messed with demons, I think, and they gave Buffy telepathy, and she was able to read people's minds, so she could hear that there was something going to happen. And one of them, I think it's let me go to the thing. So it says Jonathan is in the clock tower assembling a rifle, intentionally believing his plans to kill students, but ultimately it was revealed that Jonathan intended to commit suicide. And that was very heavy subject based around that time as well, because of this, obviously that's that shooting. But even without that shooting, that's still quite a heavy subject to cover. Suicide within
the show was very political, wasn't it, for the time?
Yeah. And that's why it's that sticks out. I don't know if they kept it within the DVD box set, but
I think they did, because I remember seeing that episode.
Yeah,
or if not something very similar.
Yeah, yeah, it was. That for me was like the fact that they had to give a warning. You never got warnings on TV shows. I mean, you do now. I watch things on Gold and like, warning, this program was made before it was politically correct. Along those lines.
You get it on a lot of old Disney films, don't you?
Yes. So they try to give you this like, warning now, But at the time you didn't have it. There was not such a thing because it was never needed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for that to happen, you're like, oh, okay. Okay, this is.
Yeah, you knew something spicy was coming up.
Something spicy was going to happen. Yeah, yeah. I think ultimately the episode ends with like he gets saved, but like it's the subcontext or the context itself was like this is what's going to happen. Like I said, there was 2 episodes. Another one was called Graduation Day. The Graduation Day was the second part of a 2-parter. And it was the season.
Snyder turns into the Beetlejuice looking thing.
I'm not sure. It involves the mayor in various supernatural creatures, although the violence is fantastical. The setting of a high school during graduation season raised concerns in the wake of real-world school shootings, prompting the network.
It is the episode I'm thinking of. It was the mayor that turned into the weird creature.
Network to postpone its broadcast. So that was the second one. It's for me, that's what I like, that's what sticks out. But Buffy was always good. I think we have a mutual liking of one particular episode though, to help lighten the mood. I think they do something similar. I'll come back to this in a second. But this Buffy spawned a spin-off series called Angel, which was one of the main characters.
Is one of my favorite TV series.
Angel went off into LA, and honestly, I tell you what, that was a good series as well. Actually, I very rarely do I find a liking for a spin-off series, because it's secondary characters from a main cast of characters from an original series. Yeah, I think which Spike does make an appearance in later on, so does is it Cordelia Chase as well?
Yes, Cordelia becomes very integral to it, which it's a blessing and a curse really for me, because I really enjoyed Angel as a TV series. I have since watching it found out that Angel was where Charisma Carpenter, who plays Cordelia, was mistreated, shall we say, by a certain director, which is obviously absolutely reprehensible, should never have happened. However, I really loved that TV show because, like you said, spin-offs for me are very hit or miss. But Angel felt like a different show within the same universe. Like, it didn't feel like a spin-off.
Oh, yeah. It was, oh, it's definitely different,
But it was similar enough that, especially for, a young autistic little girl, the characters, you're already attached to the characters, so they're predictable to you in the sense of, like, when something starts to happen, you feel like you know how they're going to react, but you just don't know what's going to happen until it happens. And then because you know how they're going to react, that's what made it so enticing. And it did a lot of world building, and it delved into like multi-universes and like much bigger kind of deep like stakes, more mystical stuff. I adore Angel, the TV series. Honestly, in terms of sequels, definitely one of the better sequels that I've not sequels, spin-offs that I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But before we get to mentioning my favorite Buffy episode, the reason I'm mentioning that particular episode is has sparked a memory for me. But I'll tell you what, one of my favorite characters in Angel was Law, the host.
Yeah, Lorne.
Lorne.
Do you know who it was for me to begin with? Doyle.
Yeah.
when the thing that happened that I'm not going to mention happens very early in the first season, when I tell you that I cried, and I cried to Mr. Bingley, who was my friend at the time.
Yes.
And he took the absolute shit out of me because he said that Doyle sounded like the name of an STD.
What the fuck?
And then I hit him.
Yes, rightfully so.
As I should.
As is your right.
As was my right. But Lorne was such a brilliant idea of a character. This demon that was, I think that's one of the things I enjoyed about Angel, was the fact that Buffy was at times very black and white. It was very, I'm good, I'm doing good, and the people I'm against are bad because I only fight bad people. With Angel, there was a lot more grey area.
Yeah. I particularly like the arc in the Wolfram Heart. Where we go to Lorne's home world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And then we get is it
Fred and Illyria.
Fred. Yeah, comes out.
I had such a soft spot for Fred.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what they did with the I wouldn't necessarily call it character development. I think that's a bit strong. But with Wesley.
Yeah.
I liked how they brought him back from Buffy because he was insufferable in Buffy. And for a while he was insufferable in Angel. And then he became kind of cool. And then he was insufferable again. And it was just, it was brilliant.
I 100%. Like that's it. But it was, I love what they try to do with certain episodes. Now, this is where I'm coming back round now. I like what they do with certain episodes, and obviously the episode where the demon turns everyone into puppets is, to me,
Yeah.
it's so well done, but it's so goofy that it's
Do you know
good.
what it was for me? It was the fact that it wasn't everyone. So I don't know if you remember seeing like I've recently clips of it have recently come onto my doom scrolling again, which is why I remember it.
Yeah.
But you know the scene where like Spike comes into Angel's office. I'd
Yes.
see him there as a Muppet. But Spike's still a human.
Human, yeah.
He's obviously he's a vampire, but you know he's humanoid. He's
humanoid.
not made of felt.
No.
And he's having to act with Muppets, and it was so farcical. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So as I said, to now pretty much wind up on the reason I liked that is because they were very much heavily inspired by doing demons that could do things to the characters within the thing. And the best episode, and I don't care if anyone's got a disagreement, but the best episode of Buffy is Once More We're Feeling. I'm sorry, but it is. It's just because it's a musical. A demon that makes people sing, for me, is my go-to. If I ever want to rewatch a Buffy, I love to actually. We keep saying this. We must do a watch show at some point. That would be the one, and I think there's lots of people within the Discord who have all agreed that's the one they all liked. So yeah, Once More We're Feeling has to be my favourite, and also because it's got Anthony Head who sings in it, and he did a Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
So he's got his roots as someone who sings.
I think that was a bit of an awakening for a lot of people who didn't realise that he had those roots in musical theatre.
Yes. So for me, that is why I like that particular episode, because it connects, the fact that Anthony Head was in it, who was singing, and he was also Frankenfurter on a stage production of Rocky Horror.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to admit, when I was in secondary school, my best friend at the time was also obsessed with Buffy, and we used to like clot about at the art class just singing that one phrase. You know, when they're standing in the magic shop and they're saying, I think this is a curse, or they're singing it because they're all like, everybody's singing, and then somebody's like, what? And they open the door, and all you see is somebody hold up a garment bag going, they got the mustard out, and everybody's singing it. That was a vocal stem for us for years.
Honestly, another one of my go-tos, and you know this from me about me as well, because of the Easter thing, is Anya's, it's bunnies! Bunnies. She's just got this obsession of thinking that everything bad is because
take over the world.
Bunnies are trying to take over the world. It's just so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
And that's why that for me was pretty much top tier of my younger memories of watching things. I mean, yeah, it's in the 90s, but like, you don't see it now, and that's why I'm disappointed.
I mean, I will say something that might get a bit of controversy from you, Steve. So, Once More with Feeling is a personal favourite for me.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think it is the best episode of Buffy.
No.
Because, and I have very specific reasoning for this, there are two episodes that come to mind to me for the best episode of Buffy. Okay, and the first one was a completely political move by the creators. So Buffy really blew up when it first came out, and there was a lot of comments, especially in like the equivalent of social media at the time, tabloids and all of that, saying that it was only good because of the dialogue. It couldn't be good because it was, about a strong, empowered woman. It had to be the dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's when they made the Hush episode. And they said, you know what? You want to say we're only good because of the dialogue? We're going to have an entire episode where there's not a single word. And that episode has some of the highest ratings.
I forgot about that one.
It was terrifying. And it was creepy and it was dark, and it really just went to show, like, they are not relying on anything. It is good because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that is definitely up there for one of my best episodes. The second
Yeah.
one, which is more for the impact that it had on me personally, might not be the best episode, but it was one of the best for me, was, this is going to be a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, maybe skip forward for like 3 to 5 minutes.
Mhm.
That's your choice. But you know how Buffy dies? I mean, several times over the course, but
Yes. Yeah. Which one?
when she sacrifices herself,
Yes.
throws herself off the top to save Dawn
Yeah. Yeah.
from Glory, and then Willow brings her back. It was that
Mm.
episode. You know how it ends with her. It was such a turning point because I really loved the Buffy Spike arc.
Yeah.
Right, Buffy and Spike, Buffy and Angel every time, but there was that turning point of, she confides in him, because at the end of the episode, he's the only one that's noticed that she's different, that she's come back almost wrong. And I will say,
Yes.
slight aside, right? I've looked it up. That was the beginning of that trope of somebody brought back from the dead but coming back wrong. That is the origin point. And
Yeah.
that's so big in literature now. So hats off. You started a movement, it's still going. But the end of this episode, Buffy confides in Spike, who's the only person who's realized that she's come back quote unquote wrong. And she says to him, I was at peace. I was happy. Because
Yeah.
the big thing in that episode is that Will and Xander and Giles have assumed that she's ended up in like a demon dimension or in hell, that she's dead and she's suffering for it because they're suffering for it because they're grieving. And she reveals that she was actually in the equivalent of heaven. And they tore her from that and put her back on the earth where she's hurting again. And that was such a profound moment for me. And it was such a great depiction of grief for me, of that idea that like the people that we leave behind are hurting. So they assumed that she was hurting because they were hurting and missing her, and they could feel her loss. But they shouldn't have brought her back. And it was something about that idea of like, just because you're hurting doesn't mean the people it's about are hurting. It was such a profound moment for me, and I think that it was very deep, especially for a 90s TV show. Like,
well, yeah,
that,
yeah. Sorry.
Go on. I was
just going to say, like
point.
as I said at the start, like they weren't afraid to touch on certain subjects. So.
Oh yeah, and they really went for it in that episode. So, although Once More with Feeling is a personal favorite and forever will be, those are my 2 top episodes, I think, because Hush was such a big. It was such a big fuck you that I have to respect it. And that episode was the second one that I mentioned. I can't remember the name of it, but it was just so heartbreaking.
That's in fact, I mean that's close towards the end, though. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 6 or 7. I'm not sure.
I think it's 6. It's not. Yeah. It's not 7.
It's not the final one.
I think it was the beginning of 6 because I think that she sacrificed herself at the end of 5, and that was how it ended. I think they bring it back at the beginning of 6. I'll look it up, but it's not really important.
Yeah. Oh, but
it was the first episode of season 6. I was right.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So because she would have died in 5.
Yeah. Her sacrificing herself was the culmination of the Glory arc.
Bargain in part 5. Yes, it's called Bargain in part 1.
Yes, when she's brought back. So season 5, that cliffhanger of the end of the season was she's thrown herself into this portal or into this thing that we've assumed has killed her. And then season 6, episode 1, she's brought back. And it was just, it hit so hard for me. It really did. I just think it was very well done. It was very tasteful considering how dark the episode was.
Yeah.
Although if we want to talk about being tasteful in the wake of dark episodes, Joyce is the only word I'm going to say. that episode. You know what I'm talking about.
I know. Yeah, I know. I was going to mention it.
Not the best episode, but fucking hell, it hit home. It was haunting.
Yeah.
Especially because it was one of the only episodes where there isn't a supernatural element.
Yeah.
It's just nature and having to deal with natural things.
Yeah.
Which again, you know, very hard hitting, very like touching on things that other shows wouldn't have, and quite tastefully done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, wow. Just this, actually, I'd forgotten about those last couple, but yeah, I do remember the Joyce one. I'm gonna, you know, I'm talking about this so much now. I feel like a rewatching is in order. Like I need to go back to it. I need to.
I'm the same. I think I'm due a rewatch.
I haven't seen anything in a long time, and of anything like this.
I believe they're on Disney Plus. I'll double check.
You would be correct on that.
I was going to say, I'm sure I've seen them on there. Yes, they are. So was the film, actually. The 1992
Is it
film.
really? What year?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
1992.
92. Oh
yeah.
shit.
Hell, they've even got Firefly on there, which we will talk about in the next episode.
Brilliant.
Of the podcast.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Oh right. Who was in that then? Does it say?
It does say in the details.
Right.
You've got Christy Swanson. A very much younger than I've ever seen him. Donald Sutherland, who went on to play President Snow in the Hunger Games.
He did.
A very young Luke Perry, who was in Riverdale. Rutger Hauer and Paul Rubens. It was not necessarily star-studded.
No.
But the people went on to do good things.
Yeah, I mean
that movie was shit.
That was. I'm so. Oh God, I'm so glad someone else is like realizing.
It is awful. I watched
in every
it once,
sense,
and you never watch it again. It's something that you watch, and then you trauma block that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is why when I started saying about it, I'm glad that if we didn't have the film, we might not have got the TV series.
That is the only good thing about it.
Yeah. So, you know, the fact that someone was brave enough to take on what was basically a fire dust.
I was going to say, someone was brave enough to create something that bad and then have the balls to release it in public.
And I went, look, there we go. This is my vision.
I've done it. I might as well.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, when it says suggested underneath, it says the X-Files. What a connection! So, Buffy, Angel, Firefly, X-Files—they're all there.
So is Ghost Whisperer, which is also another personal favorite of mine. But again, we will talk about them in the next episode, I think.
Okay, yeah, brilliant. So that's what I wanted to do this week. Was we talked about some of the games, but ultimately I wanted to get on and talk about some of my favorite TV moments, or some moments. Like I mentioned a few things, didn't go too deep into it, but Buffy was being my most favorite teen whatever, because it's basically labeled of do so many different things. You can just say that. It was a good run of series. Sadly, they didn't get to do any more, but understandably, we know why. And I think the fact is they ended it with people wanting more, and that can be a good way to end something. I think it did spin off into some comics.
Yes, it did. And the comics went quite big, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially within like the local nerd communities. I mean, even now I go to a Comic-Con and there's Buffy comics everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And I think they did the right thing in that, knowing that it was coming to an end and they had to wrap it up in a way that didn't leave any like unfinished ties, but in a way that open enough for them to maybe continue in a different media was a very good choice.
Yeah. You could find those at least. If you wanted to, you could look them up and find them out and read them.
Go to your local comic book stores. Support small businesses. I can guarantee they'll have them in there.
Yes, 100%.
If they don't, come to my local comic book store. Mine had in there.
But hey, looking at the time, we could probably wrap things up now.
Yeah, I mean, a fairly good episode of the To Be Decided podcast featuring Mr. Steve's TV recommendations. Tune in next time for the To Be Decided podcast, Mrs. Bingly's TV recommendations.
Yes.
And then from there, we'll figure out what we want to talk about. I do not have an episode of Is It or Isn't It this week. However, I will create one for next time and just do a total TV themed one, considering we've had to kind of split this into two. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Completely, yeah. Okay, so that is all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for your attention. If we've kept you here long, this long, and you've got to the end of this one, there are other episodes out there. Be wary. The episode 7's a bit rubbery. Just saying. Like, the context is okay, but it's we had
some technical difficulties. Steve has tried very hard to deal with and has done a wonderful job.
Yes.
But it is not up to the usual quality that we would have when we don't have technical difficulties.
No. So thanks very much for sticking with us tonight on this episode. And we will be back again next time. Like Kate said, we'll listen to we're going to get some of your recommendations for the TVs that you liked. And we did manage to fit into some games as well. So let's sort of split the episode into sort of two different parts.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. That's all we've got time for. Don't forget, you can always find us over on, you've got all sorts of your podcast platforms throughout, including Spotify, Amazon Music, as well as other bigger and smaller platforms. Also, we do have our own YouTube channel. It is Mr. Steve and Mrs. Bingly's podcast channel. The actual edited version of that gets put onto that, so you can go and watch it there if you wish. Have it playing in the background wherever you are. Maybe you're at work.
And if you run out of episodes because you love us that much, go ahead and watch our previous podcast, or should I say Mr. Steve's previous podcast that I ended up hijacking, the Bits and Pieces Gaming podcast, which has so many episodes on Spotify and I believe Apple Listen or
Apple. Yes, it's the Apple version of podcasts is over on that.
Yeah. Very good episodes, especially the latter few, I will say.
Oh, it's just the latter few that's worth listening to be honest. But anyway, moving on. We're going to end it. Right. Thanks very much for listening. We will see you again next time. Hey, you know what? This is the 8th one. We're getting very close to 10.
8 already.
Yeah. So, hey, listen out for the next one, which should be episode 9. That's coming up in the next week or so. But thanks very much for listening. Until next time, take care, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now. Goodbye.
Bye.